Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California, where it is beautiful and sunny. It is December 17th, and it is 8 days until Christmas. Wow, that time is running away from us till the end of the year. And today we're going to talk about, well, after the FOMC meeting, what does that mean for Bitcoin, altcoins, the NASDAQ, the dollar, and why not even check in on gold, which is getting a bit of a bounce today. And in about 5 minutes, you're going to know whether we are bullish or bearish on Bitcoin on the macro schedule, over the short-term price action over the next 1 to 4 hours, medium-term price action over the next 1 to 5 days, and then our higher-term time frames like over the next few weeks and months. And to start things out again with the FOMC meeting, maybe I was wrong. Maybe what he said wasn't dovish. Bloomberg described it as more of a hawkish tone, but really to me, I heard more of the same with the potential to kick the can down the road. You know, the back door is still open as we haven't reached maximum employment. And they did say 3 rate hikes next year. So 3 rate hikes next year, up from 1 in September, which they were going to do 1 rate hike. That was their forecast last year. The panel foresees 3 more increases in 2023 and 2 in 24, and that would push the rate up to 2.1% by the end of 2024. I think that would be absolutely brutal for the markets next year unless inflation really kicks off over the next few months. And that may be why the stock market took it on the chin yesterday, rejected from the highs and making some new lows on the 4 hours. So I would expect some kind of a lower high to get put in at the 618 fib if the downtrend is going to continue. And that's somewhere coming in at about 16,150. Anyways, back on to Bitcoin. So those rate hikes, you know, maybe they're worse than I thought, but let's jump right into some Bitcoin spot price action here. Actually, we're going to take a look at the 4 hour on the CMEs because we just kind of got an early warning signal here with this descending triangle and a break of the 4 hour below 46,500, which should get continuation down to about 44,000. And we did say that yesterday. You know, we wanted to respect the trend on the 4 hour. We had a downtrend with lower lows and lower highs. And so, again, kind of let the trend be your friend. And that's why, again, patience, when we had this little rally yesterday, right, we wanted to wait for confirmation with a break above the last prior high, which was about 50,100, at least on a 4 hour. But the daily range is pretty much the same, and sorry if this is getting a little convoluted with all the lines in there, but I'm going to take a look at it on the spot price here, see if that's a little easier. But yeah, the daily range is a little bit bigger, between 54,000 and I'd say 46,500 to the downside, and that's going to produce a bigger move. It looks like we are in the progress of making that 4 hour move down to about 44,000, but still hasn't quite broken it on the spot price yet. We got about 2 hours and 4 minutes left on this 4 hour candle. So, we're still doing the same thing that we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks now. And we did say it probably would take about 30 days for Bitcoin to kind of put in a macro low. And let's see, how many weeks have we been, putting in a low here? Well, the breakdown started right here. So that's 1, 2, 3 weeks. And it looks like on the weekly here, any kind of a weekly closure below last week's low. And I would expect that test to get down to the green 55. And on spot price, there's no chance of a weekly, any kind of a closure below that low is a continuation signal, which again would be pretty much what we've been talking about over the past few weeks, right? And what else? And just yesterday, again, when it comes to trend, right, we just confirmed another lower high yesterday. How did we confirm a lower high? Well, we took out yesterday's low and we closed below, right? So that is confirmed, and that would give us, another lower low, which we just produced right there, but not on a closing basis yet. So what I would say on the 4-hour now is we can move this resolution point, it's at about 50,000. If you wanted to be a little more aggressive, you could go here at about 49,500, any kind of a 4-hour closure back above here, and I would expect this move to play out to the upside and vice versa to the downside. And CME's playing up a little bounce on the daily here, but we did have that 4-hour closure below. Was it on volume? So let's take a look at a couple things here. So we're in a downtrend. Momentum is coming to the downside still, and volatility is starting to perk up here. So that would lead me to believe, especially if this bounce fails here, that we do get the continuation to that little short. It's a little tiny move. Down to 44,000 from here is a tiny move. And yep. So what else did I want to talk about? Just wrapping it up on a weekly time frame, which is our higher term time frame, and we are still maintaining higher lows on a weekly as long as we're making higher lows above this last prior low on CMEs at $42,000, and that's what keeps us macro in the trade. How do we want to line this up with the dollar? And here's some underlying market dynamic and background information. Typically, when the dollar's going up, right, Bitcoin's going down, along as well as gold, right? Dollar goes up, typically gold goes down. So what do we have here? It's pretty much a major reversal on the dollar, right? Coming off a macro low, and we did say that we were expecting this to pop up over time. And really important closure today, this week. Actually, today, this will be closing any kind of a closure below last week's low, and I would say that is going to line up for something more positive for Bitcoin. On the other side, any kind of a weekly closure above $96.50, $96.57, and that's probably not going to be too good for Bitcoin. And so pretty important closure there. Alongside stock market, weekly closure is coming up here today, and let's take a look at this really quick. So it looks like kind of a little bit of a complex top, and as long as we're maintaining those higher lows on the weekly, it's trend continuation, but this is not looking too hot for stocks here right at the moment. Still in a weekly uptrend, though. What about S&P? Still in a weekly uptrend as long as we're closing weeklies above there. And does that look like we're going to get a couple drives of bearish divergence? Not quite. So a little bit tough to call there, but that's why, my main thing is keep my eye on Bitcoin. Bitcoin plays out technically very nicely, and whatever Bitcoin does, altcoins are going to do more. And, we have some really good pivots on the market to be keeping our eye on. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Yeah, just in general, we are coming to a very interesting precipice here. Not only do we have the 20th of the month, which is every month the options expire on the 20th. It is not only the monthly, it's also the quarterly. And you can go back and look. Major lows tend to get put in around that time, and major highs. And as you can see, this looks like we're a lot closer to putting in a major low, and we could get a wick filled down. I mean, this is the measure move, right? So any kind of a daily closure back below 46,500, and measure move is down to about 43,000 on spot, and I believe it's around there on CME as well. And so, closer to a low in my opinion, and that brings me to my next point, and we have been talking about this as well, the fear and greed index, which is coming in at a 23, so back down closer to the extremely fearful zone. And as well as Bitcoin dominance still at a, let's see, at a 40. So coming down slightly. And again, that kind of gives us Ethereum's edge, right? As Bitcoin dominance goes down, typically Ethereum, plays out nicely. Open interest at 11.5 billion. So slightly up, and then you've got coins still coming off of exchanges. So it does seem like people are kind of buying the dip and hodling. And just wrapping it up on the higher term time frames. Thanks for your patience again. Any kind of a daily closure back above. We said 54,000, our major breakdown area right there. But starting out with the 4 hour, right? If we get a 4 hour closure back above, what do we say, at, call it 50,000, that begets continuation to the top side of our daily range, which is at 54,000 to the upside. And coming in at 46,500 to the downside. That's what I'm looking at there. So hopefully that is helpful. Moving on to Ethereum versus the US dollar here, and doing something very similar to Bitcoin. Looks like playing off, bouncing off this level fairly nicely. But yesterday, how did we close on the daily? And I would say that is pretty much confirming another lower high. And so the question is, what comes next? Is it another lower low, or are we going to bounce right here? So on the 4 hour, let's see how we're doing here. And we're still just operating very nicely within this wedge here. And the 4 hour maintaining the downtrend here. Lower high, lower low, right? Lower high, lower low. And so what's to be expected? I mean, is this a pity bounce? I don't know. And I do believe, it really depends on how the stock market closes today on the weekly. Let's see. It's really a tough close. I mean, to me, I have to say it's an honest amount of I don't know. But we would we have any bullish divergence? No. Nope. Yeah, so that's, to me, a big red candle like that on volume, not necessarily the end-all be-all, as long as we don't close below that last weekly low here today, which we've got a few more hours in the day here before stock market closes. But we were taking a look at Ethereum, and here's what I would put it down to. On a 4 hour, any 4 hour closure below $36,059 probably gets continuation to, let's just throw on a fib retracement here. Make things easy on us. And where's the measure move coming off that? That is looking, right into our blue box territory, somewhere around $3,400. And I would say, any kind of a 4 hour closure below 36.50, we get a move down there, and then vice versa, any kind of a 4 hour closure back above there. All we would do is flip this into a bullish retracement here, which is done like that, and probably gets a quick move off at 4,400 with a pullback, test down to support, and then what would that look like? Probably something like this, right? If we took out the little drawing tool and we want to bounce up here, boom, come back down, and then probably head up to our next fib, which is, our next fib is coming in, right at the measure move, which is at the top side of this range at 48,650, and that is kind of our last breakdown area. It probably should be lining up a little bit closer to this area right here, but that would be very nice for Ethereum, right? If we could put in, and hey, I wouldn't mind if it just came back down first and then played out a move, something like that. That would be very nice as well. Okay, let's check in on a couple of altcoins, some of our leaders here. And again, why are we taking a look at these guys? They've been holding up relatively strong as Bitcoin has been going down. So they're considered just stronger coins. And really, I want to take a look at it on the daily. And we did say yesterday, any kind of a daily closure above 220, and that would give us the move back to the high side of the range. And I'm going to stick with that. Call it 224. Any kind of a daily closure above 224 likely gets us a move back to the top side at 262. And this thing is just, macro bullish. If you look at it on a weekly, we have this just massive weekly uptrend. We're putting in now higher highs and higher lows, and I would expect more of the same, especially if Bitcoin can salvage itself here. And then another one we've been following is called Luna, and this one, it looks like it is about to break out on the 4-hour with any kind of a 4-hour closure. If you want to be conservative, back above $69, but a 4-hour jumping the gun. We did say yesterday any kind of a daily closure back above 66,000 would give us continuation to the top side of the range. And why is that? That's our last breakdown area right here at $66,038. Another one of our favorites or trending altcoins here is Avalanche here, and I believe we said yesterday any kind of a daily closure above 113, and that would give us a move back to about 120. And it looks like we didn't get a closure above there yesterday. We closed below, and it looks like we might be getting the closure above today. And yep, I think that'll wrap it up for today. And I'll just be a little more conservative and just move this point up to here now because we're about to touch it. And typically, hey, why would you want to buy the high side of the range? I don't know, unless you know something that I don't know, right? So what do you want to look at on the weekly here? And typically, right, any kind of a tick above last week's high is going to give you a move to the top side of the range. Is this the top or is that the top? I don't know. I'll let you judge that one for yourself. Do we want to throw on Solana here on the weekly, closing it up above this level, which would be a major breakdown point, in my opinion. Any kind of a weekly closure below 171 is going to, fill out to the bottom side of the range at about 130. And we could take a look at this on a daily, and the daily did have a pretty nice breakdown right now. Is that going to be a little bit of a bear trap? How would we confirm that? I would say any kind of a 4-hour closure or a daily closure back above 203, and I would say yes, that would be confirmed bear trap. Okay. Hey, make sure you guys check out our TradingView tutorial. It's just a basic free setup. We put that out yesterday. I really only wish somebody, took the time to explain to me how to set up a TradingView account. That can get you off onto the right start if you want to become a successful trader and you want to start to learn about all the, underlying market dynamics. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care and have a blessed day.